Hello people! Today we are going to take a look at the Super 30-in-1 Multicart for the Super Nintendo. The Super Nintendo? Sorry, I mean the Game Boy, of course. Yes, now of course I did show you the cartridge last time, so let's bring up the screenshot. Or the photo, whatever. Yep, there you go. Not very interesting looking. What is funny though is that at the top it says Game as opposed to Game Boy. What's also funny is that all the names are in Chinese, which means I can't read them. Now, usually I get these multi-carts from places like eBay and such, but I actually got this from a pawn shop in my hometown, which is got it for 99 pence. So let's see if this thing really is worth that 99p. Okay, so we gotta get the Super Game Boy out once again. And yes, now put the cartridge in. That should be alright. Yes, it is. Super Game Boy. Yes, so here we are. 30-in-1. Doesn't even say Super on the actual menu. Probably because it's not Super, as you will soon see. So, we start off. Well, rather, okay, so we are off to a really poor start with one of the worst games you could possibly get with the Game Boy, and that is, of course, The Simpsons. Now, anyone who has ever played a Simpsons game for the NES, I pity you, because those games are terrible. And, quite frankly, this game is no better, as I will show you. Yes, Escape from Camp Deadly. It's made by the same people who did the NES games, unfortunately. Like I said, the NES games are terrible. This game is no better. So yes, I don't care about the instructions, just let me get on with the game. Numerous problems with this game. First off, the controls are not great. They are better than the ones in the NES games at least, but that really isn't saying much. The controls in the NES versions are just awful. The ones in this game are less awful, but not by much. As you can see, you can throw stuff, but you can't throw down or up or anything, so like you literally have to be at the same level to hit these people. And I think all it does is actually make them dizzy. And of course, half the time you don't get enough time to react to them appearing on the screen, because the game is so badly designed. Overall, this game is fail. So let's move on to the next game. Surely it can't be worse than that. And you'll be right, because we're now into Bokenjima 2. Which is, of course, the game that came out before Bokenjima 3, which was on my Super 25-in-1. Yes, this is actually a good game, as I will show you. Now in Bokenjima 2, you do pretty much something similar to Bokenjima 3 really. It's not as refined, but it is still a good game. The gameplay's there, and it is still a fun game. It is about 50 billion times better than The Simpsons will ever be. The game, not the cartoon. Well, actually, the new episodes will count in that, but still. And yes, I at least I'm not actually dying this time around, which is nice. Although I did that because I'm an idiot. But yes, that's Bokenjima 2 for you. And so we move on to game number 3, which is RoboCop. And this is much like the NES version, in that it's not very good. It is better than the NES version, although that's not really saying much. On patrol in Detroit. Yep, just like in the film. Although, unlike the film, pretty much the whole city is out to kill you, which I don't understand, because you're RoboCop, you're not Robo-Criminal or something stupid. Yes, you have the karate guys, just like in the NES version. The gameplay is a little more fun, though, as in you can use the gun all the time, which is nice. I also like how you can jump backwards. Because we all know RoboCop did that in the film, right? Yeah. Yes, I watched the film, and last time I checked, there weren't this many people attacking him. Especially in the city streets. I mean, I know Detroit is not the best city in the world, but still. But yeah, that's a Robocop for you. It's better than The Simpsons, but that's not really saying much. And it is better than this version, but again, that's not really saying much. So next up is, of course, Super Mario Land, which is a classic by all means. Anyone, well, pretty much anyone who has owned a Game Boy will have probably played this one, and it is a great game. And yes, sprites in this game are very small, as you might notice, but you can manage with it. This is better than having the game flicker all the time because the sprites are too big. At least in my opinion, it is. But yeah, Super Mario Land, awesome game. Hell, there's even a couple of shoot 'em up levels interspliced in this. That's how awesome it is. And that's not something you see very often in Mario. In fact, I think this is the only game I can recall that has it. But yes, it's also the only Mario game I recall that has the can-can. I think that's what it is. I forget what the song's called because I'm not into classical music by any stretch of the means. In fact, pretty much all my knowledge of it comes from parodies. But there you go. And yes, next up is Mario Egg, as the menu calls it. But this is actually Mario and Yoshi, which I used to have the cartridge of, although I lost the cartridge. Wish I didn't, because this is a great game, as I will show you. It's a pretty simple puzzler. Basically what you do, you have to match up the pieces, match up the things rather, and try to make sure they don't go up to the top of the screen, because otherwise you'll lose. Game B changed it up in that you have to get rid of all the blocks on the screen. Also the music kind of reminds me of that sketch of Zap, you know, the one with the Artie, I think it was, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that bloke. But yes, that is a good game. Certainly one that I recommend if you have a Game Boy, or in fact a NES, because I'm pretty sure there was a NES version of it as well. But I don't know, I'd say it's best suited to the Game Boy. Battle City makes its return for about the 40 billionth time. I suppose it's like a legal requirement for a Multicart to have Battle City on it. It might as well be, given that practically every Multicart that I've ever seen for the Famicom and the Game Boy have this game. Yeah, the Super Color 25-in-1 had it. A lot of the Multicarts out for the Famicom have this game. Well, although granted it is obviously a different version, but still. It is a good game though. It's just something I see on pretty much every Multicart that ever exists. Well, not every Multicart, but it might as well be. So game number 7 is Hyper Load Runner, which is of course a lot like Load Runner. Although this game it's a lot more difficult. It's like not as difficult as Championship Load Runner, but it's still pretty difficult. It is a good game though. It's just like really difficult in comparison to the original Load Runner. But yeah, like I said, good but really difficult. At least in my opinion, it is. Mind you, I could do this a lot better last time around, but yeah, it's one of those games where I still can't beat the first level of it, but oh no, I can get further in the first level at least. I can at least collect all the stuff before dying. An alleyway. No! Sorry, but like I said in my 25-in-1 review, this game is boring as hell, and I'm not even going to play it anymore because it's not even worth showing that for more than 2 seconds. Nintendo, screw you for making such an awful game. Flypole, now here's a much better one. An exciting, cute game, just like on the Famicom. Graphics are downsized, of course, and so is the music, but it is still a good game nonetheless. It is one that, if you have a Game Boy, well recommend it. Obviously, oh no, personally I prefer the Famicom version, but this one's alright. Certainly well suited for the console at least. And yes, just see if I can actually. Oh, whoops! Me being an idiot. Yeah, just see if I can finish the level, or at least attempt to. Oh, looks like I've won anyway, but still. See if I can get perfect. Somehow doubt it. Nah, you can get it. Oh well. There we go. Level clear. And I win because I'm awesome. And we're back. So game number 10 is Dr. Mario. Now I'm sure you all know what Dr. Mario is. It is a great game. Basically, okay, that's not okay, that does not bode well for this game. They're all like bunched up together, which is odd because usually they're not. Yeah, this is not going to go well, don't think. But hey, Dr. Mario is an awesome game. But then again, you knew that already, didn't you? I bloody hope so. Just finish off this level. Come on, stop giving me these ones. There we go. I won because I'm awesome. And that's Dr. Mario for you. I'm sure you didn't really need that. Anyway, we shall move on to the second page. And as you will notice, Adventure Island, yes, this is where the repeats come in, because obviously there aren't going to be 30 games on here, because, yeah, Adventure Island is basically just Boku Jima 2 again. It's not even like the American version or anything. So let's move on to Tasmania's story. Now, I never heard of this game before, and when I saw the title I thought it was going to be, you know, the Tasmanian Devil. Unfortunately though, this game is far worse than the Tasmanian Devil on the Mega Drive, because while that game was bad, this one is terrible, to put it simply. So as you can see, stories in Japanese, I'm not going to bother with it. Now this game, I don't fully understand this game, to be honest. Basically, it's kind of like someone tried to cross Mappy with Bomb Man, and to program it, they hired someone from Active Enterprises, pretty much. That might as well just be the story of the development of this game. Control is arse, to put it simply. I mean, just terrible game. I'll try to see if I can at least kill an enemy before I eventually die. Oh, and you can only put one bomb on the screen at once, which is completely ridiculous. Terrible game. Makes this. I swear, it actually makes the Simpsons look decent. Well, almost. Then again, you can't really make the Simpsons on Game Boy look decent. But Shisensio, which is actually Matchmania, as the title screen calls it. Not sure what the full title is because I can't be bothered to check. And this game, it's basically you have to match up the tiles, as you can see. Now, this game is alright for what it is. It's, you know, it does its job, I guess. The problem with this game, though, is that one thing I noticed after a few plays is that the levels are the exact same each time. So if you memorise the levels, it's just too easy. And as you can see, I'm doing it without much problem. At least I would be if I hadn't last played this like several weeks ago, or days at least. I can't remember my dates. But yeah, that's Shisensio. And after that we have Yakuman, which is of course another weird Japanese game thingy. And this one is basically Mahjong. It really is that simple. There's not much more you can say about it other than it's Mahjong. That really is all you can say about it in terms of the actual game. Music vaguely reminds me of Shy Kingdom from Super Mario Land, which is of course also on this cartridge. And is a better game. Probably the best, well, one of the best games on here. But I don't know, if you like Mahjong, I guess that's alright. And now move on to a game that I do actually know, and that's Space Invaders. Oh yes, Space Invaders, a classic. But you knew that already. Now of course, in Space Invaders, what you have to do is shoot the invaders. It's pretty simple. One thing that is a bit weird though is that your bullets can actually destroy the enemy bullets. And sometimes they can even pass right through them, which makes this version a bit easier than the other versions I've played, including the Famicom version and the arcade version, obviously. So this version is a little easier than the other ones, because, you know, if a bullet comes towards you, you can just shoot it down usually. Which makes it a bit, yeah, like I said, a bit easier, but even so, it is alright for what it is. Hell, the enemies tend to fire more often, at least. Kind of balance out the challenge, I guess. But yeah, I think you know what Space Invaders is. And so we move on to tennis. Again, this is a game that you should probably know how to play because, well, it's tennis. Yep, there we go. Once again, Mario is the umpire. Actually, I say once again. Did I actually show you the tennis on one of my multicarts? I can't remember. I can't even remember if tennis is on any of my multicarts. I'm pretty sure it does, but I haven't showed you that multicart yet. This game is alright, but personally I prefer the NES version, or the Famicom version, or whatever. Also, I'm not very good at that one, to be honest, as you might have noticed. And so next up is Volleyfied, as the menu calls it. This is actually Volleyfire. And yes, by Toei Animation. Makes me wonder if it's based off an anime, somehow I doubt it. Now this game is basically, it's hard to describe actually. What you have to do in this game is you have to shoot down the enemy who you basically shoot complete random. Yeah, it's actually pretty easy, this game is, as I will show you. What makes it annoying though is these blocks that get in your way, so you can't actually shoot the enemy most of the time because they're hiding behind it. There we go, I hit him. I think I'm the one... No, I'm the one at the top apparently. As you can see, not a great game. It's okay, I guess, but not really, it's not exactly, so it's like an R-type or anything like that. Well, actually, no, in terms of vertical shooters, there's no... I mean, it's not even Star Force. At least Star Force had, you know, had you going up and shoot more than one enemy, which didn't take 50 minutes to kill. It's... oh no, to be honest, as far as shooters go, that one's a bit boring. It's not the worst game in the world, though. It has a couple of the previous games I've shown. Next up is Trump Boy. And to be honest with you, I seriously have no idea how to play this. So yeah, there we go, entertainer of lack of entertainment. Oh yes, I just love ripping off the Ashens, don't I? Yeah, I'll be honest with you, like I said, I've got no idea how to play this. Oh no. Oh, actually I wonder, is this Super Big 2 or whatever it's called? I'm not sure actually. It could be. Yeah, I think it is actually. Because I remember playing that before. And I do know how to play that game. But yeah, entertainer. That's pretty much the best thing about that game. And so, on that note, we move on to World Bowling, which is of course, well, a bowling game. Let's start, please. Ball pound. Let's go for 12, just because I feel like it. Oh, apparently I can't choose my level. Let's go! Play some bowling! Yep, it's a pretty simple bowling game. It's alright for what it's worth. Trust me, I've definitely seen worse bowling games like Dynamite Bowl on my 84-in-1 Multicart. Okay, I'm not going to get a strike here, I don't think. That's not bad. It is a bit easy though. It's just like really hard to actually get a strike, which is a bit odd. And so we move on to the last page, and for some crazy reason when you press select to get here, it kind of like takes you to the last game for some reason. And yes, a couple of more repeats because of laziness. So skipping those and moving on to Clax. Now Clax is a great game. I remember having it on the PS1. Game Boy version's a bit downsized thanks to the lack of colour and obviously lack of technology in comparison to the arcade version and such, and even the NES version actually. This game is, yeah, I mean it's one that I personally have always been a fan of Clax myself. It's just one of those games where it's like, I just love playing it. So basically you have to make a lot of Claxes to win the level, like that. Obviously the game does get a lot more difficult as you progress, as you could probably guess. And so, on that note, we will move on to the next game, which is Sokoban 2. And Sokoban 2 is of course the sequel to, well, Sokoban. And yeah, I'm sure a lot of you will know what Sokoban is already. Basically, you get this little storyline where this bloke is going around with his girlfriend, and then she gets kidnapped by some bloke in a fedora, who then goes off in a spaceship. Makes sense to me. And they say something in Japanese. And yes, as you can see, it is that game where you push crates into designated spots. In fact, this is basically the original, pretty much. You know, like Thinking Rabbit game. That is just like, I mean, those are the people that made Sokoban. Those are the people that came up with the concept that would be ripped off by about 50,000 unlicensed game developers like NT Deck and trying to think of some other companies. Nice Code, I think. They made that that one where it had Fairby Jacka in it. And yeah, they can move on some more levels, which I can't solve because I'm an idiot. So let's see if I can solve this. Oh, I think I might. Not. Yeah, I see the problem in this. In that yeah, screw it. There's one more game on here, which I will show you, because the last 5 are all repeats. So we end with Shanghai, created by Hell Laboratory. And yes, Shanghai, there was another game on there's another game with the same name on the Famicom by Sunsoft. This is pretty much the same thing, in terms of concept at least, you know, it's gameplay-wise it's the same. Basically, it's that game where you have to match up the tiles. And it is a pretty good one. It's not the greatest game in the world, but for what it's worth, it's certainly playable. And if you like this sort of thing, then you'll probably get a kick out of this. Especially with this music in the background. So what is it with these sort of games having the best music? And yes. Not much more you can say about this really, other than if you know how to play this sort of thing, then you will probably enjoy it. But oh yeah, I think there's one more thing that might be worth showing before we finish the video. Because you may notice, Easy Tasmania, yeah, they repeat these King Kong Escape, I forget which one that is. Adventure P5 is just a, you know, Broken Jimmy 2 again. Arkanoid is of course Alleyway, because Alleyway sucks. Easy Tasmania, I will show you that one just out of interest. And Stargate is just Space Invaders and it is not Defender 2. And so, Easy Tasmania, oh, apparently it is Tasmania Story. I swear I saw in another Multicart where there was a game called Easy Tasmania on it, and they ended up being something completely different. But yeah, I'm not going to bother with Tasmania Story because it sucks. Worst Game Boy game I've ever seen. Well, not counting Pirates of course, but it's pretty awful. Yeah, got this for 99p, and you get what you pay for, I guess. So, on that note, I will see you later, people. See you!